where we get to share our love for music, all from the comfort of our favourite bar, Musicland. Now, before I pass it over to George and Tyrone and they'll tell us what's happening this week, I just want to give a quick shout out to my mum because it's her birthday. Now, what do you got going on for us, George?
We have everything happening, Abby. We've got a big show this week. What have we got, Tyrone? Talk to us.
well, all right. We've got two massive artists this week. We've got Sienna Wild.
Sienna Wild?
Yep.
We also have Schembri, who's going to be performing as well. Oh, nearly.
Oh, almost there.
Do it again.
There's nothing that I left behind.
Now I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole night.
Hello.
G'day.
Turn your microphone.
You've got to turn your microphone
I'll
on.
try it, alright. Here we go, too slow.
All right, what have you brought us this week, Ebs?
Well, I've got some funny things from the internet. I'll tell you what. How do you like the sound of some dude on a toilet?
Have you got more animals?
Hopefully. Depends. Do humans count?
Is that toilet humour?
We'll
Is that
see.
toilet humour?
Possibly. I don't know.
It's not working.
Featuring cat on a toilet.
And your clip of the
Singing.
week? You got a clip of the week this week?
I do, yes. They are called the
Do you want to find the sheet for you?
Rendezvous, yes.
Rendezvous, yes.
Yeah, actually, they're a friend of Tom's that works at the bar, I believe.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. That's a bit exciting.
Locals. Yes.
We've got a discussion as well.
We do have a discussion.
The most important musician in a band.
Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I already know.
Which
what
we
that
already know who
Yeah,
that
we
is,
already
but
know what
we'll
it
talk
is.
about it.
But that's all right. Isn't that right, Lucas? Exactly. And we're also going to be discussing, is it more important to have fun on stage or be a perfectionist? That's what the discussion's going to be about. So that's going to be an interesting one, that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got any thoughts? Good, keep them for
I
later.
do, but I'm not telling
Why
you
not
now.
both?
What?
Perfectly fun.
I'm glad you're here. I really am.
Thanks. Anyway, I'll see you this week.
And Abby, you're going to be talking about your bartender peeves.
Yes, looking forward to that one. Hopefully still get tips next week. We'll see.
What are your peeves?
Oh, you want me to tell you now?
Let's go into it now. What's your peeve?
Probably the biggest one is that people try to buy me shots all the time and I can't take them.
Can't you do what they did in Coyote Ugly?
Irresponsible.
Do you remember? Are you old enough to know that movie?
I know the name.
No, they used to drink a shot and then spit it back into a bottle of beer so that they wouldn't end up drunk.
Oh, I don't think that's what's stopping me.
Oh.
What else?
Have you ever worked at a bar?
No.
No, well then you're no fun, are you?
No.
Why not?
It's not my cup of tea.
I reckon we should put you behind the bar for a week.
You could try.
Eh?
You could try.
See, someone cheered. That was my mum.
Can't go to mum's.
All right, we're going to go.
What's your biggest pet peeve then?
I don't have any pet peeves.
You've worked behind a bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's when someone walks up to the bar and you've got a massive queue and then someone turns around and goes, oh, I don't know what I'm going to have. And then just stands there and looks at you.
And what? Do you make conversation? What do you do?
No, you just want them to hurry up and tell you what they want to drink.
When did you get all this bar experience?
Been doing it for a long time.
Ah.
Yeah. I just got upgraded.
Okay.
Yeah, to the kitchen. That's an upgrade. All right, anyway, after the break, we're going to be speaking with a guy who plays guitar and wears a Maltese flag on his skivvy. Ebby has brought us some clips about a goat and stuff. That was exciting.
Yeah.
See, you've got an animal one.
I know, it was a surprise,
Yep.
George.
And me and Tyrone are going to discuss why drummers are the most important people in the world.
Well, that ties in with our topic too.
It does.
Yeah.
But to take us to the break,
Next up, we have Sienna Wild playing You Wouldn't Know.
Everyone put your hands together for Sienna Wild.
Love those guys. Great work, team. And George and Tyrone are about to say something hilarious, I'm sure. Are we ready for that one?
Why do we have to say something funny?
Hilarious, I'm sure.
Why can't we be serious? Like serious presenters or something? Or at least pretend to be. All right, talking about being serious, where's Aaron? All right, guys, everyone please put your hands together for Aaron Schembri.
In the middle.
There you go.
G'day.
Do you know how to use one of them?
Yeah.
Jeez, you're a lot taller in person.
Wait till you see the bass player and the drummer.
I thought they were the security guards.
Yeah, they're quite tall.
Big boys. Now, all right, we're going to jump straight in. How did you meet Ross Hannaford? And then from Ross Hannaford, how did you go on to playing with Ross Wilson?
Yeah, kind of full circle. I actually met Ross Hannaford here. I was probably about 16, 17, and he was doing one of the jam things here. And yeah, we just hit off a great relationship and kind of like a mentorship in a way. And then the fact that, you know, he'd come full circle playing his guitar parts for Ross Wilson, and, you know, it's, yeah, completely full circle, you know. So, yeah.
Is that it?
I don't know what else to say.
I don't know either. No, I always thought it was amazing because Ross Hannaford, you'd see this guy dressed in an orange jumpsuit playing his legendary guitar at the front of the market, and most people would walk past this guy and never know who he actually was, let alone one of the best guitarists and songwriters in Australia. Did he teach you a lot?
Yeah, Hannah kind of went through a lot of the harder times in the music industry than, let's say, the good times, and that was kind of an eye-opener for me because, you know, I don't know if we can talk about drugs on this, but we will, you know, so...
It's a music show.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of taught me more what to not do in the music industry, and you know, you can't buy experience. Somebody who's done it for so long, you know, you can't go wrong by listening to somebody like that.
So how has it helped you musically then?
And the biggest thing I got out of Hannah was the fact that you just got to really enjoy what you do, you know, because it's not an easy industry to be in, as you know, you fellas, as James, as you fellas know, it's not an easy thing to be a part of at times, but you've really just got to make sure you, most of all, enjoy what you're doing, you know. And the fact that Hannah would go out busking in South Melbourne, he didn't give a shit.
That was for his own
He
enjoyment.
just did it because he loved it, you know.
But then talking about enjoyment, and we're going to go into your music in a minute. So now you're playing with the Wiggles. Now, I don't know if anyone knows, but Aaron's basically the brown wiggle. That's what he came up with. I was going to call him the Maltese wiggle, but you'll go with
Did
the
you
brown
actually
skippy.
get brown? Is that a thing?
No.
Do you get a skippy?
No. I get to wear a Sgt. Pepper's kind of jacket, which, you know, standing.
If the Wiggles are watching,
that,
if they're watching, give him brown.
yeah,
Give him brown. A Maltese falcon on the front of it. How do you go with them? Because they're a massive musical juggernaut. Take away the kids' side of stuff that they do. I mean, you were telling me before that between TV commercials, stuff for World Vision, the amount of philanthropy that Anthony and his brother does, how do you go with that side of stuff with them? What do you do with them?
it was kind of, at first it was kind of weird because I felt that small in a way, but seeing how things like that work on that level, it kind of makes you realise, well, you don't know everything. You've got a lot to learn. So touring with them was quite a big eye opener, and even writing with them too. You have to change your mindset to suit what that is. So yeah, it's
So
it's kind of, it was a weird, interesting.
did that change your original stuff at all? Like the way you write, the way you perform?
No, not really, because the essence of that kind of music is the stuff that I love. It's very Chuck Berry influenced, and all the rock and roll stuff. It's kind of all that vein, which is kind of what I loved, and I think that's kind of how I fell into that kind of thing easily. Because that's kind of the stuff that I like.
You've got to be wrapped up. I mean, because you would have grown up in the Wiggles days. And
Yeah.
your mum and dad would have bought you every single freaking Wiggles CD, Wiggles
Yeah.
DVD, Wiggles toys, Wiggles outfits, Wiggles whatever. And then you're playing with the guys 20-something years later.
Yeah, I mean, the first gig that I got to do with them, Anthony came to one of my gigs in Sydney with Ross, and as he's walking out, he goes, "What are you doing next week?" I said, "Well, something by the sounds of it." And he goes, "Oh, cool, can you fill in on guitar? We're going to need a second guitar player on one of the shows." And I go, "Sure, where is it?" He goes, "Oh, it's just Perth Arena." I was like, yeah, okay.
Just Perth Arena.
And then I did the rest of the tour. So.
And how many people were there?
Well, the daytime gigs were for the little ones, and there was 4 gigs a day, and then the evening show was an 8 o'clock start, and
Is there an adult
At
Wiggles?
an arena. So there would be 10,000 people.
12,000 people, people my age and older reliving their youth. And it's kind of the same thing working with Ross, people reliving their youth, going to see Ross perform and listening to those songs. So it's kind of the same thing, but a different generation gap, I suppose. But yeah, that was the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Wow.
All right, now back over to your stuff. So where do you get your songwriting inspiration from?
Anywhere. Yeah, actually, I got up at 2
He's going to
o'clock.
write a song about me and you.
Yeah, I don't think so. I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday and I just broke down the lyrics. So it just kind of comes and goes.
So what's your influences? Like, have you got a certain thing that you sort of go to for?
Well, no, not really. As I said, it kind of comes and goes. You could write something that has happened to you, or you can write something that has happened to somebody else, or you can completely make it up. Nobody will ever know. So music's great because it's open to interpretation by whoever's listening to it, really. So, did that answer your question?
Yeah.
Are you happy with that answer?
I think so.
Would you like to
Does
change
that
it?
make sense?
Yeah. Do you need to phone a friend?
No, I don't.
All right, so we're going to hear you guys perform. What song are you performing? Setting Sun.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about that.
I wrote that with Paul Norton and Wendy Stapleton, two very good friends of Musicland as well. It was kind of cool because, obviously during lockdown, things weren't that great for us musos, but the great thing about being in this day and age is you can write something and send it off to somebody and it'll be back in 5 minutes with something completely different on it. And that's kind of what happened with this. I gave the idea of the chorus and then it came back and I was like, it makes sense. Yeah.
Awesome. So we're going to hear that.
We'll hear
That song really soon. Yeah.
But we're going to cross over to Ebby for, please dear Lord, Ebby's internet finds.
This will be good.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited about this one actually. It's a little close to my heart, this first one coming up. I like to call it the Poo and Wee song.
Hey, are you in there?
Take it away.
Don't come in, I'm trying to take a poo. Oh, okay. This number 1 turned into a number 2. I got it. It's been so hard to get it out of my butt. I just can't seem to let it go. So don't come in, I gotta leave this studio.
Man, where do I find these things? Am I right? Relatable. Next up, I don't necessarily agree with this statement, but it's called Stupid Horns. I would call that genius, really. I'd like to see you do that, George.
That's our next.
What are you picking on me for?
It's our next project.
I don't know.
That's our next project.
Next up, this one is called The Goat. Yeah.
It's already a hit.
I'm glad that amused you, Ebby. Seriously.
Hey, I'm studying music production. That is my jam. You don't even know. All right. Next up, this one's called Guy Typing an Email Old School. fact, that's actually me staying up till midnight writing essays this past week. Thank you. Yes, unrecognisable.
Thank you,
So
Abby.
yeah, next up we have Aaron Schembri playing his song "Setting Sun." Take it away, boy.
In the twilight of my day, and the road is like a movie. I've traveled this old highway, but I know my home is nowhere, and I just go whichever way the wind blows. When the day is dead and done, and I just know that any way that I go, that I will reach the setting sun. There's nothing that I left behind. There's no one that I even know there. Of another town. Well, I know my home is nowhere, and I just go whichever way the wind blows. When the day is dead and done, and I just know that any way that I go, setting sun. And I just go whichever way the wind blows. When the day is dead and done, just know that any way that I go, that I will reach the setting sun. That I will reach the setting sun. That I will reach the setting sun.
Hey.
Put your hands together, everyone. Aaron Schembri.
Someone's whistling.
Oh, wow.
Whistle, whistle.
That was exciting. How good are they?
All right, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Good drummer.
Yeah, no, he's a very good drummer.
Really good drummer.
Talking about drummers, let's talk about the most important musician in a band.
The drummer.
The drummer.
Yeah.
That's it. And if anyone wants to tell us any different, come here. Where are you?
They're gone.
He's gone.
And now they've had enough.
So yeah, the drummers are the most important person in any band.
Are they?
That's it. All right, now the next topic.
Is that the
No, I've got no one to argue with me. This is awesome.
No, I'm not going to argue that.
No, cool. Is having fun on stage more important than being a perfect musician?
I think so, because it translates better to a watching audience.
Yes?
Yep.
I completely agree.
That's my short answer.
That's your short answer, so what's
Yep.
your long answer? Where's Aaron?
I don't have one.
Come here.
Well, what do you think?
Where's his microphone gone?
I'll fix it. What do you think?
It's down there. Oh, your microphone's just there. Well, my thing is, I definitely reckon that. I mean, one of the funnest gigs that I ever did was actually with Aaron. We rehearsed the day before, nailed everything, and then got on stage and everything just stuffed up. That was with Jason.
So it was perfect.
Oh yeah,
That was on.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Then we got up on stage and it was terrible, but we had the best ball of.
So watching a
Time of our
band,
life.
if you watch a band that's clinically spot on, perfect, right down to the beat, right down to the rhythm, do you still enjoy that as much as a band having fun?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
To a certain point.
Well, I went to see the Rolling Stones in Germany, and they're 700 years old each. And they were wrong notes left, right and centre, but I thought, shit, that's the Rolling Stones. They look like they're having a ball.
All right, but if you went out and saw a normal band, say for instance, you had 3 of the best musicians in Australia performing on stage, okay? And they were performing rock music. They sat there like this the whole time, performing, and clinically they were brilliant. Would you enjoy that?
No,
No?
probably not.
No, that's what we're trying to get at.
Okay, yeah. That's
Yeah.
a fair point.
And that's why, for the fact that, is it more perfect to basically, is it better to be perfect, or is it better to have fun?
I think you have fun, let the mistakes show, because we're all human, I think. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
It's great to see personality come through an instrument, really, in a way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Hey?
Nobody's perfect.
No, they're not.
I've got another question for you. If you go to school and you are taught, and you're taught by the book, everything has to be perfect, do you think that you'll come out of that?
Do you know why he's asking that? Because he's got new glasses. When I went to school.
Okay, math's good now. Do you think that takes away from your creativity because you've been shown what to play and how to play it?
This is a hard one to answer.
Actually, all right. I'm going to ask the guys have any of you guys actually gone to music school? Yeah. Okay, come up here.
Jimmy Boy, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, James Davies.
Yeah.
It's,
This was the reason why I said, like, I want someone to try and say that drummers aren't the best. Yeah. John might have to pan the camera up a little bit.
I put my head in the bottom of the frame down there earlier. Yeah.
So, the question is, basically, do you think, go on, you ask it.
So if you go to school and you're taught and you learn in a certain way, do you think that takes away from your creativity because you've been shown that way?
No. I think that like anything, creativity is kind of like a muscle, and if you learn it, if you hone it, if you develop your craft, obviously there's people that are naturally gifted at it, but there's people that can naturally jump 2 feet in the air and dunk a basketball and they never have to train.
Are you like using that analogy because you're like 6'6"?
Yes, definitely. Home base.
I was going to say a different number, but I thought I better not.
But yeah, I think that creativity is like anything that you can learn it. Some people are naturally gifted at it, but if you work at it.
Did you ever have any other people that were in your class, in your music class, that went out and then started performing and tried to be as clinical as possible and got rid of the enjoyment side of it?
No. There's people that I studied with that stopped performing because they stopped caring about music. I think it's almost 2 separate issues, that you can learn to be clinical and find that enjoyable, but then there's also people that just like rock out and have a good time. And I think it's like 2 sides of the same coin. Like the lack of enjoyment comes from other aspects.
Would you say, I'm going to ask Aaron again now, because I know that you do both originals and you've got your whole cover set, you need to put the microphone lower. Sorry, Aaron. Does that feel better?
I think we need to get some ladders installed, Mick.
So I'm going to look at the cover side of it and the original side of it, as much as what its original show, that if you're playing in a covers band, right, you're basically meant to play everything perfect because everyone knows that music.
Well, that's wrong. I think that's wrong.
No.
Only because the creative side of what you do comes from the influences of what you're listening to and what you're playing. For example, we wouldn't have the Beatles if it weren't for Chuck Berry or...
No, I'm talking that if you were to play a set...
Oh.
If you were to play a set, hey?
Did I jump the gun?
You might jump the gun.
It's because he's a guitarist.
Mike back to
I can't look up that high.
no.
But that's what I'm asking. So if you're playing covers and you stuff up in a cover set, right, can you get around that by performing and having a ball with it and laugh the matter versus trying to be clinically perfect? Because my view's always been that when you're playing music, if you're playing in an originals band, no one knows the music anyway. So if you stuff up, who cares? But then if you're playing in a covers band and you stuff up,
Everyone cares. Yeah.
No, it's usually the four guys at the back that are standing there like this going, freaking he stuffed up, didn't he? They're usually the other musos. But the rest of the punters that are sitting there dancing, they couldn't care less. So that's what the whole reason why my topic. Does it make, yeah.
So what's the question?
I don't know anymore, I've had enough.
No,
that's it, I've given up now.
What you're saying, but
I don't understand what I'm saying.
no, I kind of get it. What's the question?
What's the most important musician in a band for you? It's not in your band.
Actually, no, go back to what I asked, a guitarist and a singer. What's the most important musician in a band?
Well, I don't think there is, because you're only as good as your drummer and your bass player.
Ah, exactly. You got it right the first time. You're only as good as your drummer. Do you know why?
He tried to sneak
You
bass
can
playing
have 10 of the best musos at the front, right? Playing guitar and banjo and singing and all of that. If your drummer's out of time,
It's
you
horrible.
guys are stuffed.
You get rid of him.
No, you guys are stuffed before
No,
me.
absolutely, I totally agree.
But you guitarists and everyone else that's playing at the front, if you guys are stuffing up and don't know the music, all you do is do this. Whoop, I'll turn down. No one can hear me now.
And it's the four guys at the back going, he's stuffed up.
He's stuffed up.
Well, yeah, you're right.
I'm glad. Everyone, put your hands together for Aaron Schembri. All right. We're going to let you guys set back up again because you guys are going to perform. You're going to do another song very, very shortly.
It's time for Abby's band clip of the week.
Is it?
Yes?
Already?
Is it already?
I think so, yeah.
I think Abby might have the wrong sheet again.
I jumped the gun.
You jumped the gun miles ahead,
That's
Abby.
just because I wanted to say the most important member of the band is the writer. So music shit, it doesn't matter how good of a player you are. Just saying.
Please
Now,
don't drop
band clip of the
Please
week.
don't drop the mic and walk off after you've said that. That's actually a
But
brilliant.
still, without a good drummer, that doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Unless you're playing an acoustic set.
That's true. Could have a drum machine. Irreplaceable, Tyrone.
Don't cheer a freaking drum machine, seriously. We had this discussion last week. They started phasing out drummers in the 80s.
We're going to be out of a job soon.
Grouse, can you find me? All right, so we're going to get Aaron up now. They're going to be performing for you very shortly. And after the break, we have a band that we will find out why Sienna went wild. That was as good as I got that one. And Epi shows us we can all have a delirious rendezvous with a band.
I like what you did there.
I did. I really like that. And then we'll find out what's going to be happening next. But for now, guys, please put your hands together again for Aaron Schembri with Good Enough for You.
My memory is shining through the light, but it feels like everything's crashing down. There's a love behind the anger, but when it's beating through this old heart, well, the sun, it keeps on shining. Every single time that I've cried, and I'm searching for your answers, but I feel it traveling through my bones. It takes a warrior to let it drift away. What's good enough here is good enough for me. I've seen you smiling at the feeling you're free. With all the memories, now I'll be me. There's a fire and it's there's nothing left for me to prove. But I know now I'll keep on keeping on. It takes a warrior to let it drift away. What's good enough for you is good enough for me. I've seen you smiling at the feeling you're free. With all the memories, now I'll be me. What's good enough for you is good enough for me. I've seen you smiling at the feeling you're free. With all the memories, now I'll be me.
Thank you very much.
Put your hands together again, everyone, for Aaron Schembri. And that was good enough for you. Good enough for you. I know you can find basically everywhere through Spotify. And where else, Aaron? Where can you find your music? Spotify, Apple, iTunes. You can call in.
JB Hi-Fi.
Facebook, JB Hi-Fi. Actually, you can get it at JB Hi-Fi.
Can you?
You can buy the album. He's got a big LP.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I've got one at the shop that gets played. Now, we're going to get Lewis up on stage. Where's Lewis? Come up here, buddy. Everyone, round of applause for Lewis from Sienna Wild. We'll give you that. What are you drinking?
Captain Morgan, that's what it says on the sheet, isn't it?
Oh, that's what we asked you before.
Sorry.
That's all right. Can we get one Captain Morgan, please, Ed? Now, why did Sienna go wild, and where did you get the name from?
Our name actually originated from, there's a colour called burnt sienna. John and I went to high school together, so did some art subjects, and we really liked colours, and we were playing around with a few different names, and we threw around that, and our drummer at the time was actually in New Orleans, and we called him up and said, what do you reckon of this sound and this name? And he yelled it across the bar, and all these people started yelling back names, and the thing that stuck was Sienna Wild, so we kind of stuck with it, man. Yeah.
That's cool.
That
I
is
like
one
that.
of the best name stories I've heard.
Yeah.
Usually it's about, I don't know. About
It's usually
someone
just,
who knows.
we thought of it.
Yeah, we just thought of it.
Yeah.
Well, that was really good.
How long have you guys been together for?
This incarnation's been together for about 2 years, but John and I have been playing together for a lot longer than that, writing songs and honing our craft. But yeah, we're really comfortable with where we're at the moment, man, having the
Yep.
5-piece, and we just brought Matt Huller, our keyboard player, on very recently as well, so
Yeah,
we're feeling really good.
What's the story behind that? How'd that come about?
When we record, I play most of the keys, and then when we come to play live, we really wanted to have that as a foundation, as it is in our music as well, on record, so we decided to get the best keys player in Melbourne to come and join us, so that's what we did.
Better live up to it.
I was going to say that.
Big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
And what did you guys do over... Obviously you were together during COVID.
Yep.
How'd you just go riding over that period? Oh, thank
Oh,
you, Ebby.
thank you kindly. Insert sponsor here. Well, we saw a lot of bands around us sort of capitulate when lockdown happened, and they realised that they couldn't do what they loved and play on stage like you guys have us here tonight. So we kind of got together early on when it looked like things were getting pretty dark, and we just realised that we want to continue writing. So we just sent bits of demos to each other, and most of the songs that are on our new EP coming out and that we'll play for you now, were kind of bits and pieces of stuff that we sent across to each other during lockdown. So we're pretty steely in our resolve that we weren't going to let anything get in the way. And as a result, we got an EP out of it, and then in between lockdowns we went into the studio and got a vinyl coming out in a couple of weeks, and the EP's on its way. So we just didn't let anything get in the way, basically.
So have you got a main songwriter or songwriters, or is it like now that you're out of COVID, is it like more of a collaboration thing?
It probably starts with myself, and then John and I collaborate really strongly, and then we put it, once it gets to sort of 30, 40, 50%, we put it through the machine of the band, and everyone has their input, everyone has their say. It's pretty democratic, and what comes out the other end, you have to make sure everyone's happy with, and everyone's got their contribution they feel good about.
And where'd you get your sound from? Where does your music come from? Like, because you guys are such a unique band, even listening to you during soundcheck and everything, it was probably one of the first times that we've been sitting in the back room listening to you guys doing soundcheck, and I'm like, geez, wow, absolutely amazing music. Yeah. Where do you get your sound from? What is it?
Well, it's probably a combination of all our factors, but to be honest, with the latest stuff, we've really been listening to a lot of radio-friendly rock, and without sounding watery about it, we're really inspired by bands that have really long careers. But I love listening to radio still, so if I hear a band that sounds good on the radio, and I think there's something really magical about that 3.5 minute time slot where you can put all of that into 3.5 minutes, people still want to listen to it on the radio. Fill stadiums, bands like Dire Straits and the Pretenders and Blondie and all these kind of early 80s bands that we love, but also new bands like the Killers and the Arctic Monkeys and War on Drugs and Kings of Leon. They're doing things that their influences did so well, which is play radio music, but also reach so many people live in stadiums as well. So we think we've got that sound. We're still trying to craft it and refine it, but that's what inspires us.
I reckon you guys are pretty much spot on with that whole radio sound, and maybe that's why, even like I said, I was sitting in the back listening to it and going, geez, these guys are really, really good. Yeah. And you said it last time they performed here.
Yeah.
So we've got to make sure we get these guys back again.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's all right. Do you feel a bit better now? Does the rest of the band feel good about that response? Awesome.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a hardest vibe here I was sensing earlier on. So Aaron mentioned your ladder, so maybe that could help me out as well. I'm just looking myself on the camera. I'm getting pretty self-conscious if you
Well, that's why we actually paired you and Aaron up together, just because that whole height difference thing. That's
well, some of our songwriters are under 170 centimetres. I've done the research, so it's...
all right, so
Simon needs a ladder as well.
Your opinion before we wrap up?
Oh, yes, before we wrap up.
The most important musician in the band?
I'm going to go with the drummer as well, because our drummer's incredible, so I'm going to say drummer as well. And John and I both started playing drums before we played anything else as well, so there's a few drummers up here.
Lewis is shaking his head, but are you only sucking up to him because he cuts good hair?
He does cut good hair, he does.
He does cut good hair.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, guys, we're going to let you set up, Lewis. We're going to cut across to Ebby, and Ebby's going to show us her clip of the week.
Hello, yes, welcome.
Microphone.
Time for everyone's favourite part of the week, Ebby's band clips. And this week we're listening to a band called The Rendezvous. They're local, and the song is something that sometimes I am called the Delirious. Thank you.
was from.
Yeah. Hey, some Musicland regulars might recognise a certain bartender in that band. I won't give it away. You'll have to watch it again. Next up, we have Sienna Wild playing their song "Through to You." Take it away.
Take it away, guys. What a sound.
What a sound.
What a sound.
I just got jealous.
Beautiful, guys. How about that drummer? Very important. The most, some might say.
He is.
That's
I'm
solid.
glad you're actually getting with it now, Evan. This is fantastic.
Anyway, what's going on next week, guys?
All right, what's going on next week?
We have-
I can't even see because I'm wearing these stupid glasses to make myself feel smarter.
We got Riding Northbound next week.
Got Riding Northbound.
Yeah, that's going to be massive.
All right, we've also got the legendary blues man himself, Jeff Atchison. Do it again, 1, 2, 3.
I just learned my lesson.
In this sight, in the sun, in the sound, I got to turn my hair around. Make no sense speaking logically, but I have been damned does not look to me. But we've been good, never once so bad. We've been fine with the one.
I'm looking forward to that. Can you two actually get like... We're actually meant to be professional.
Next week,
I'm having fun.
I've got some
Being clinical.
really funny stuff to show you guys, and I'm not even going to talk about it. That's how excited I am.
And
George?
do you know what our discussion topic is next week?
What is it?
We've got no clue yet. We'll actually work it out once we get there. How about that? Guys, we need to say thank you and goodbye. Thank you to Ebby, the Musicland production crew, obviously Aaron Schembri and Sienna Wild. Put your hands together again for them. Our sponsors, Creative Victoria, Musicland, Markwell Foods, Pubble, Three Cuts Gin, Chaos Drums, Rudiment Hardware. And to finish the night off, please put your hands together again for Sienna Wild with their song Long Day.
It's been a long day and I went the wrong way. It's been a long day and I ever think about keeping you up. Keeping you up.
Thank you.